Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. Today we're talking about something that controls more people than fear, laziness, or even sadness: anger. Now I want to be very honest with you. We all get angry. At people, at problems, at life. Sometimes it explodes. Sometimes it hides quietly inside and ruins our peace without even showing up on our face. But either way, anger steals our energy, ruins our relationships, damages our health, and most importantly, it blinds our mind. It's like drinking poison and expecting others to suffer. You say things you didn't mean. You hurt people you care about. You break trust. You break focus. You destroy your own peace. And after the anger is gone, you sit quietly, filled with regret. So the real question is, can you actually stop getting angry? Can you train your brain to remain calm in any situation? The answer is yes, but only if you understand how anger works and how to replace it with something more powerful: emotional control. This video is very, very important because it's not just about anger, it's about freedom. If you learn how to master your anger, you become someone no one can control, insult, manipulate, or disturb. You become untouchable, not by fighting, but by rising above. And I'll teach you how to do exactly that, step by step, with no fluff, no fake tips, no spiritual confusion, just real, powerful, psychological steps that actually work. So stay with me till the very end. And this video might become one of the most important lessons of your life. And as you listen, you'll also improve your English thinking, speaking, and emotional vocabulary, step by step. So before we begin, subscribe now and let's grow together. Step 1. Understand that anger is your choice. This is the foundation. If you don't understand this, nothing else will work. So let me ask you, when someone insults you and you get angry, what do you usually say? They made me angry. They made me lose control. They crossed the line. But here's the truth. No one can make you angry without your permission. Anger is not a virus. It doesn't infect you. It's not something people throw at you and it sticks. Anger is your decision. Yes, the situation may trigger you. Yes, the person may be rude. Yes, things may feel unfair. But what happens next? That burning emotion, that reaction, that is 100% your choice. Let me explain it clearly with an example. Imagine two people standing in the same room. Someone comes in and says something rude like, "You're so useless. You'll never achieve anything." One person shouts back instantly, "Who do you think you are? Don't ever speak to me like that. I'll show you who's useless." They explode. They feel insulted. They react with anger. But the second person? They take a deep breath. They smile slightly. And they say, "Interesting. Thanks for sharing your opinion." Same insult. Two completely different reactions. What changed? The mindset. The first person gave the remote control of their emotions to someone else. The second person kept it in their own hands. Now ask yourself, how many times in your life have you said things in anger that you regretted? Broke something, hurt someone, or cried after getting angry? Let one bad comment ruin your entire day? All of that came from a single decision: to let someone else decide your emotional state. And that's what we must stop. Because that is slavery. Whenever something triggers you, tell yourself, "I can feel this heat, but I don't have to become the fire." You are allowed to feel hurt. You are allowed to feel discomfort. But you are not required to respond with rage. You are not an animal. You are a human being. You have the power to pause, think, choose, and rise. The moment your mind understands this, that you are not a slave to triggers, that your emotional reaction is a choice, not a command, you become free. True emotional strength is not about holding it in until you explode. It's about understanding. This anger is optional, and I don't want it. From today, start observing your thoughts when you get angry. Pause and ask, am I choosing anger right now? Is this how I want to respond? What if I chose peace instead? At first, your brain will resist. It will say, but they deserve my anger. Let it talk. Let the storm pass, then decide. Because you're not fighting with them. You're training yourself. And the more you practice this shift, the less power anger will have over you. Step 2. Pause before you react. Let's get something very clear. Anger is fast, but peace is slow. When something makes you angry, your mind wants to react immediately, to shout, to defend, to fight, to prove a point. But the moment you react too quickly, you lose your power. And most people don't realize this. The real damage of anger doesn't happen because you feel it. It happens because you act on it too fast. That's the difference between a wise person and a weak one. Let's break down what actually happens in those first few seconds of anger. Someone insults you. Your brain immediately feels attacked. It sends signals. Defend, respond, say something. Your mouth opens, your tone sharpens. You say something that feels right in that moment, but ends up being completely wrong later. Those 10 seconds decide everything. Whether your friendship breaks, whether your marriage suffers, whether your job is at risk, whether your self-respect is lost. And that's why you must build a habit of pausing. Here's the truth. No one teaches us. Your first reaction is your lowest self. Your second thought is your wiser self. The problem is, most people never wait long enough to hear the second thought. Every time you feel anger rising, practice this. Close your mouth. Literally. Do not say a single word. Silence is your armor. Look away or step away. If you can, leave the room. Walk outside. Change your location, because that breaks the anger loop. Count backwards in your mind. Say 10, 9, 8, 7. Slowly, deliberately. Focus on your breath. Each number equals one breath. By the time you reach 0, your heart rate will drop. Your mind will feel clearer. And most importantly, the fire will begin to fade. Let's say your partner says something disrespectful to you. Your blood starts boiling. Your hands tighten. You're about to scream. But instead, you pause. You step outside. You walk for 1 minute in silence. You return and say, "That hurt me, but I want to talk about it calmly." Boom. You just saved your relationship. That's power. Not yelling, not proving your ego, but choosing a response, not giving one away. Why does this work? Because anger is like a wave. Fast, high, dangerous, but temporary. If you don't react to the wave, it passes. But if you try to fight while the wave is crashing, you drown. So the pause is your surfboard. It helps you ride the emotion without being controlled by it. Start practicing emotional delay in your life. When something offends you, delay your reaction. When someone criticizes you, delay your reply. When you feel heat, delay your voice. The delay is not weakness. It is training. It is transformation. The more you delay your anger, the faster you destroy it. If you can learn to pause for just 10 seconds before reacting, you will save your health, your peace, your energy, your respect, your future. Because some words, once spoken in anger, can't be taken back. But a pause? That can save a lifetime of regret. Step 3. Breathe the fire out. Now let's talk about something that sounds so simple, but it's actually one of the most powerful tools of emotional control ever created. Your breath. When you're angry, what happens to your body? Your chest tightens, your breath becomes fast, your voice rises, your muscles tense, your brain panics. This is not an emotional problem. This is a physical reaction. That means the cure is not always in the mind. Sometimes the fastest solution is in the body. And that's where breathing becomes your superpower. Your breath is directly connected to your nervous system. When you breathe slowly and deeply, you send a message to your brain. We are safe. We are calm. There is no danger. And the brain believes it. This instantly lowers your heart rate, your blood pressure, your stress hormones, your mental noise. You literally change your emotional state with air. The 4-4-8 technique. Here's a simple breathing tool to stop anger in 1 minute. Inhale through your nose for 4 seconds. Feel the breath go deep into your stomach, not just your chest. Hold the breath for 4 seconds. This increases oxygen and builds control. Exhale through your mouth for 8 seconds. Let it all out. Slowly, gently. This calms your entire body. Repeat this for just 3 to 5 rounds. That's all. You'll feel like you just took a cold shower inside your brain. You're in traffic. Someone cuts in front of you. Your first thought, what the hell is this guy doing? You want to scream, but you remember, pause, and breathe. You saved yourself, not just from road rage, but from a whole mood that could have ruined your entire day. Don't just use breathing during anger. Make it a daily habit. 2 minutes in the morning, 2 minutes before sleep, 1 minute before difficult conversations. This builds emotional muscle, just like a gym builds physical muscle. The calmer your breath, the quieter your anger. You don't need magic. You don't need pills. You don't need to escape life. Sometimes you just need to stop and breathe, because fire dies when there's no air to feed it. And when your breath becomes your tool, anger becomes your student. Step 4. Practice the art of letting go. Let me start by asking you something honest. Why do you get so angry? You might say, because they disrespected me. Because I've had enough. Because no one understands me. But the real reason is much deeper. Most of the time, you're not angry at the present. You're still carrying the past. You didn't just explode today. You've been carrying silent pain for years, and today, it overflowed. Anger is not a reaction. It's a buildup. You get angry because you haven't let go of what your parents said 10 years ago. The betrayal of a friend, the rejection that broke you, the failure you still blame yourself for, the expectations that crushed your spirit. You hold on to that pain, memory, insult, injustice. And one day, someone says something small, and boom, all that pain explodes. But was it really about them? Or was it about what you never healed? Understand this. Letting go is not about forgetting. It's about freeing your energy. When you don't let go, you reopen the same wound every day. Get angry at people who didn't even hurt you. Create pain in moments that should be peaceful. It's like carrying a bag of burning coal and blaming others when it hurts your hands. The fire isn't outside. It's what you're refusing to release. It means you forgive people. Not because they're right, but because you're tired of carrying poison. You stop repeating old stories in your head. You stop trying to win a war that ended years ago. You accept what happened, and you choose to move forward. Here's how to start letting go. 1. Write it down. Write the names, the events, the betrayals, the failures, everything you're holding. 2. Say it aloud, to yourself. I am no longer carrying this pain. It has lived inside me long enough. It does not belong to my future. 3. Burn the paper, if safe. Delete the file or rip it. Symbolically release it. You're telling your brain, this is no longer part of who I am. 4. Every time anger rises again, remind yourself, I have already let this go. I will not relive what I have already survived. Letting go doesn't mean you're weak. It means you are wise enough to protect your energy. What happened to you is real, but holding it forever is not healing. It's self-harm. So from today, stop collecting anger. Stop saving insults. Stop replaying betrayal. Let it go, and you'll find that the world feels lighter. Your heart beats slower, and your anger becomes quieter. Step 5. Practice gratitude daily. This may sound simple, but don't underestimate it. Gratitude is the quiet killer of anger. Why? Because you cannot feel grateful and furious at the same time. Your brain cannot hold both emotions equally. One must win. So if you train your brain to live in gratitude, anger loses its power. Let me explain it deeper. The human mind always focuses on what's missing. What didn't go right? Who didn't respect you? What's unfair? What you haven't achieved. And when your brain is full of lack, it becomes full of anger. But when you remind yourself of what's present, what's working, what's beautiful, something shifts. Your mind stops fighting life and starts accepting it. That's where peace lives. Gratitude does 3 things instantly. 1. Shifts your focus from what's wrong to what's right. 2. Interrupts the anger loop with a moment of softness and reflection. 3. Activates peace chemicals in your brain, dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin. You literally reprogram your brain to calm down faster. This is not spiritual theory. It's neuroscience. This is simple, powerful, and life-changing if done daily. Start a gratitude journal. Every morning or night, write down 3 things you're thankful for, 3 people you're lucky to have, 1 moment today that made you smile. Even if life is hard, find something. If you can't find big things, be grateful for breath, for eyesight, for water, for shelter, for one person who checks on you. Use gratitude as a weapon against anger. When anger rises, say, yes, this moment is hard, but I still have so much to be grateful for. This doesn't make the problem disappear, but it gives you a higher perspective. You're no longer trapped in the fire. You're standing above it. Say thank you more often. Say thank you to people who help you, moments that teach you, pain that grows you. Every thank you is a step away from resentment. You're angry because your boss shouted at you. You go home. You're boiling. You want to quit. You want revenge. But you sit quietly. And you say, I'm grateful that I have a job. I'm grateful that I have food tonight. I'm grateful that I still have the power to change my life. Suddenly, the anger drops. Not because the situation is perfect, but because you refuse to let it consume you. Gratitude is not about ignoring problems. It's about not letting those problems steal your joy. Anger screams, this is not enough. Gratitude whispers, this is still a gift. When you live with gratitude, your mind becomes a temple. And in a temple, Anger cannot survive. Step 6. Clean the hidden pain inside you. Like someone says a small thing and you explode, or a tiny mistake makes you feel like your blood is boiling. And later, you ask yourself, why did I react like that? It wasn't even that big. Why does this happen to me? Most of your current anger has nothing to do with the present. It's old pain sitting quietly in your mind, waiting for a trigger. Every human being carries pain. Some show it, some hide it, but everyone carries it. Maybe you were never respected growing up. Someone you trusted betrayed you. You failed in something and never forgave yourself. You were compared, ignored, insulted, abandoned. You always had to prove your worth, even to your own family. And you buried all that inside, because no one was listening. But pain is not passive. It doesn't disappear on its own. It grows roots, and it becomes irritation, mood swings, overthinking, overreactions, and uncontrolled anger. You shout at others, but what you're really doing is shouting for help. Anger is the surface. Underneath it is pain. You're not angry because your friend showed up late. You're angry because you feel disrespected. Again. You're angry because people always ignore your time. It's not about the traffic or the phone call or the dinner. It's about years of emotional dust sitting inside your heart. And that's why we must clean it. This is not a one-day task. It's a process. But it begins with one brave decision. I will stop pretending I'm okay. Write the pain down, all of it. Sit alone, in silence. Open a journal or a blank document, and write every painful memory that still makes you feel something. The people who hurt you, the moments you never talked about, the things you wanted to say but swallowed, the anger you hide behind smiles. Don't filter, don't edit, just pour. This is not a blog post. This is emotional detox. Talk to your inner child. Yes, your younger self. The version of you who was ignored, pressured, hurt, abused, made to feel small. Close your eyes and speak to that version of you. You didn't deserve that pain. I see you, I love you, and I'm here to protect you now. This sounds silly, but it's emotional science. When you speak love to your inner child, your adult self becomes more stable, calmer, and less angry. Forgive where you can, and accept where you can't. Forgiveness is not saying, they were right. It's okay what they did. Forgiveness means, I'm done carrying the pain they gave me. If you can forgive, do it. For your peace, not theirs. If you can't, then accept the past. Stop fighting a movie that already ended. Close the screen. Walk out of the theater. Create a healing habit. Every day, meditate for 5 minutes. Journal how you feel. Speak kindly to yourself. Choose peace in small moments. Stop blaming yourself for old versions of you. You will never conquer anger until you face the real pain beneath it. Clean that pain, slowly, lovingly, truthfully. And you'll discover something miraculous. The things that once made you angry will no longer even move you, because you're not that person anymore. You've cleaned the dust. Now there's nothing left to explode. Step 7. Ask the right question. Anger is not just about the situation. It's about the question your brain asks the moment something happens. And here's something no one teaches. Your brain is a question-answer machine. It will always give you an answer to the question you ask. So when you get angry and you ask, why do people always treat me like this? Why is life so unfair? Why is everyone so stupid? Why can't anything go right? Guess what your brain does? It starts building an answer to support that emotion. It says, because no one respects you, because life is against you, because people don't care, because you're always unlucky. And now the anger becomes stronger. This is the invisible anger loop. Bad event happens. You ask a negative question. Brain gives a painful answer. Emotion gets worse. You explode. But now let's break the loop by changing the question. Powerful questions to ask when you feel angry. Is this worth my peace? Not every fight deserves your energy. Peace is expensive. Protect it. Will this matter in 5 days, 5 months, 5 years? Zoom out. Look at the bigger picture. You'll realize 90% of your anger is about things that are temporary and irrelevant. What is this emotion trying to teach me? Sometimes anger is a signal. Not to fight, but to heal, set a boundary, or walk away. What would my highest self do right now? Imagine the most mature, calm, peaceful version of you. How would they respond? Let that version lead you. Your friend lies to you. You feel betrayed. Your first question: why would they lie to me? Your brain starts digging. They're fake. They don't care. I hate them. But if you ask, what can I learn from this? What boundary do I need next time? What does this say about me, not just them? Now the energy shifts. You're not reacting. You're growing. You cannot always control what happens, but you can always control what question you ask. And that question will shape your emotions, decisions, and the entire direction of your life. So every time anger rises, don't ask, why me? Ask, what now? Because that question doesn't pull you into pain. It pushes you into power. Step 8. Set clear boundaries. Let me say this very clearly, because this single truth can save people years of anger, stress, and regret. Most anger exists because boundaries do not. People don't get angry because they are weak. They get angry because they allow too much, for too long, in silence. They tolerate disrespect, overuse, emotional manipulation, unfair behavior, being taken for granted, and they keep quiet. Until one day, they explode. But here's the hard truth. Anger is often delayed honesty. You didn't speak when you should have, so anger spoke for you, loudly, violently, destructively. A boundary is not a wall. A boundary is a clear line that says, this is okay for me. This is not okay for me. Without shouting, without drama, without anger. People who don't set boundaries end up living in resentment. People who set boundaries live in peace. When you set boundaries, you don't bottle emotions. You don't feel trapped. You don't feel powerless. You don't feel invisible. And when you don't feel powerless, anger has no reason to exist. Anger feeds on helplessness. Boundaries destroy helplessness. Think about where your anger comes from most often. Is it family, partner, workplace, friends, society? Now ask yourself honestly, have I been silent where I should have been clear? Most people say yes. They stay quiet to avoid conflict. But silence doesn't remove conflict. It postpones it and makes it uglier. This is very important. Boundaries are not aggressive. They are calm, firm, and respectful. Speak early, not late. Don't wait until you're angry. Say something the first or second time, not the 10th. Like, I'm not comfortable with jokes like that. Please don't speak to me in that tone. I need some space right now. Early honesty prevents future explosions. Use I statements, not attacks. Never say, you always do this. You never respect me. Say, I don't feel respected when this happens. I need to be treated with more care. Be consistent. A boundary only works if it's consistent. If today you allow disrespect and tomorrow you get angry about it, you confuse people and hurt yourself. Consistency creates clarity. Clarity creates peace. Accept that some people will dislike your boundaries. This is crucial. People who benefited from your silence will resist your boundaries. That doesn't mean your boundary is wrong. It means they were comfortable crossing your limits. Let them be uncomfortable. Your peace is more important than their approval. Imagine someone constantly interrupts you, disrespects your time, or emotionally drains you. Instead of staying silent and getting angry later, you say calmly, "I value my time and energy. If this continues, I will step away." No shouting, no argument, just clarity. And if they continue, you act on your boundary. You step back. That's not anger, that's self-respect. When boundaries are clear, anger disappears. Because you no longer feel trapped. You stop fighting people in your head. You stop replaying conversations. You stop exploding unexpectedly. Because you handled things early, clearly, and calmly. And that is emotional maturity. Step 9. Focus on solutions, not problems. Let me start with a hard truth. Anger survives in problem-focused minds. Peace lives in solution-focused minds. Most people live like this. Something goes wrong. They complain. They blame. They replay the problem. They talk about it again and again. And anger grows stronger every time they repeat the story. Because the mind believes we are stuck. And when the mind feels stuck, anger appears. Anger is the mind's response to powerlessness. The moment your brain sees a way forward, anger starts dissolving. So the question is not, why did this happen? The real question is, what do I do now? That question alone changes everything. Let's compare. Problem-focused mindset. This is unfair. They ruined everything. Why does this always happen to me? I hate this situation. This creates anger, stress, and mental exhaustion. Solution-focused mindset. What's my next move? What can I control here? What's the smartest response? How do I improve this? This creates calm, clarity, and power. This is a daily practice. The moment anger appears, pause the story. When anger starts, stop telling the story in your head. Stop repeating, "They did this, they said that." Ask immediately, what is the solution here? This interrupts the emotional loop. Separate emotion from action. Feelings are allowed, but decisions must be logical. Say to yourself, I can feel upset, but I will act intelligently. Emotion without direction becomes anger. Emotion with direction becomes growth. Focus on what you can control. You cannot control people, past, opinions, outcomes. You can control your response, your boundaries, your effort, your direction. Anger dies when control returns to you. Someone insults you. Problem-focused response. You replay it all day. You feel disrespected. You imagine arguments. You lose peace. Solution-focused response. What's the solution here? Possible answers. Ignore because they're irrelevant. Set a boundary. Distance yourself. Improve yourself. Focus on your goals. Now anger has nowhere to stay. At the highest level, your mind works like this. If I can fix it, I will. If I can't, I'll accept it and move forward. No drama, no ego, no rage, just clarity. And clarity is peace. Anger asks, who is wrong? Wisdom asks, what is next? The moment you stop fighting reality and start shaping your response, you don't just stop getting angry. You become unshakable. Step 10. Learn to observe, not absorb. Let's talk about something very few people understand. You don't have to absorb everything that happens around you. You can simply observe it and let it pass. Most people get angry because they absorb people's moods, people's words, people's energy, social media opinions, family dramas, workplace pressure. They let it enter their mind. They let it live in their body. They let it decide their emotions. And that's the problem. You were not created to be a sponge. You were created to be a filter, a calm, conscious observer. The absorber says, "They said something rude. Now I'm upset. Their mood is bad. Now I feel heavy. This post made me angry. Now my whole day is ruined." But the observer says, "I noticed what they said, but I won't carry it. They're projecting their pain. I don't need to take it personally. This energy doesn't belong to me. I release it." The difference is enormous. Think of your mind like a sky. The thoughts, emotions, and people around you are just clouds. Some are dark, some are heavy, some are fast, some are ugly. But the sky doesn't hold them forever. They pass. Be the sky. Let the storm pass through, without becoming the storm. When someone's words hurt, pause and think, is this about me, or is this about them? Most times it's about them, their issues, their wounds, their triggers. Don't absorb their poison. When emotions rise, label them silently. I notice anger. I notice pain. I notice fear. This creates distance between you and the feeling. You're not inside the emotion. You're watching it, like a wise witness. And when you can witness it, you don't become it. The most peaceful people are not cold. They are clear. They've trained their minds to observe without reacting, to see without absorbing, and to stay calm while the world shakes. This is not weakness. It's the highest form of mental strength. Be the observer. Let others carry their chaos. You carry your peace. So now, take a deep breath. Because today, you didn't just watch another video. You entered a new level of yourself. You didn't learn how to control anger. You learned how to outgrow it. And that's a very big difference. You are not here to be a slave of emotions. You are here to become a master of your own mind. Let the world do what it does. Let people speak what they speak. Let situations rise like storms. But you will remain calm. You will remain clear. You will remain in control. Because you've seen the truth. Anger doesn't make you powerful. Control does, peace does, wisdom does, and now you have all three. From this day forward, you'll pause when the fire rises. You'll breathe instead of break. You'll let go of the past, clean the pain, and ask better questions. You'll choose boundaries over explosions. You'll build solutions instead of drowning in complaints. You'll stop being the angry version of you. And you'll become the calmest, clearest, strongest version of who you are meant to be. The version that no one can shake. The version that no one can control. The version that does not fight life, but rises above it. And the best part? This version of you was always inside you, waiting for you to choose it. Now you have. And now, you are free. If this video changed the way you think, if it gave you power, healing, and peace, then make sure you do 3 things. Like the video, to let your future self know this moment mattered. Subscribe to the channel, because here, we grow together every week. Share this with someone who needs to see this. A friend, a partner, a family member. Maybe their life changes because you clicked that share button. And in the comments, write just 1 sentence. I choose peace. Let the world know who you've decided to become. Because once you make this choice, no one can make you angry again.